I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness, a first responder mental health podcast hosted by me, Erin Jane, where we have conversations about what it's like to perform a first responder role and the mental health challenges that can accompany it. Hello and welcome to another episode of I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. I'm your host, Erin Jane. And today I am living up to some of my intentions from the end of last year. And if you listen to my solo episode from the end of last year, you will know that one of my intentions for 2024 was to do more solo episodes. So here I am living up to my word. And yeah, I just kind of want to do a couple of these every now and then just to, jump on and share a couple of bits and pieces. So hope you don't mind. And if you're here, I'm happy to have you with me. So basically today, really more just like a check-in I'm filming this towards the end of January 2020. So, almost a month into a brand new year. And yeah, I just want to find out how everyone is going. Some people have had a great start to the year. Some people have had average ones. Some people have had a shit show. So it really just depends. And I think people can end up putting a lot of pressure on themselves, especially in the month of January, because, you've had all of it, the holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, all that kind of thing. And whether it's your jam or not, a lot of people go, I want to, accomplish this in this year. And they put themselves under a great deal of pressure in that first month to, radically change certain aspects of their entire life without maybe like the foresight of having the right supports in place or having a plan and all that kind of thing. So I think it's and especially so in America, it's winter, everyone's sort of stuck inside a fair amount. Or I'm on the East Coast, so that's definitely the case. A little bit of rain, a little bit of snow, just mainly quite miserable. And if you are one of my wonderful listeners, like down in Australia, it's summertime, but the kids are still off school, and so you might be getting driven nuts by now. So yeah, it's really kind of just a check in. And I guess I wanted to talk about the concept of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you don't know what a self-fulfilling prophecy is, it's basically setting yourself up for failure or, confirming something that you already believe was going to happen. And in particular, I want to talk about it in regards to people, maybe setting a resolution or having an intention at the start of a new year. And look, I'm a coach, so I think goal setting is great. But when we wildly throw things out there, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's going to be amazing. It might be amazing, but if you don't put the structure in place to be able to support yourself and to actually take the individual steps to get there, it's really easy to fail or feel like you've let yourself down. And so when it comes to the self-fulfilling prophecy aspect of what sort of been bouncing around my head this month was the fact that, you might go, I want to learn how to play guitar or learn how to play drums or lose 10 kilos or whatever your goal might be, right? But something about goal setting is that I think sometimes people forget that you actually have to have the right mindset for success. So if you say, I'm going to learn how to play the drums, I'm just going to use that as a random example, but you haven't done any research, you haven't put anything in place to, find the right teacher or, go about the right way to learn how to play drums. Just a random example. Or in particular, if you go in with the mindset of, oh yeah, like I've always really wanted to learn how to, play the drums, but I have no fucking rhythm, so good luck to that. That's not a, positive mindset. So when you go into something with a pessimistic mindset of like, oh yeah, like I really want to do this, but I don't really fucking think I'm going to be able to stick to it. So it's probably a waste of my time, but I'll give it a crack anyway. That's going to lead you into a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you don't achieve that goal or you fail to do the thing that you set out to do, sometimes more often than not because of you having like that negative mindset, then you are fulfilling your own prophecy of failure. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So I hope that makes sense. And I think it's really important, because if you believe that you will fail in something, then nothing you attempt is going to end in success, because you aren't believing in yourself. And it's always great to have other people believe in us. Everyone needs that external, support, or sometimes like extrinsic motivation. But if you don't believe in yourself, or the thing that you're trying to get at doesn't have some level of intrinsic motivation, then, you are setting yourself up for failure, or just, relegating yourself to a pessimistic and negative mindset. And I don't think it's going to get you anywhere. And, I can be guilty of it too, but we're also in control of, what we think and what we do and how we act and how we respond. So you can also overcome a negative mindset by going, okay, well, like okay, so like quitting smoking, right? That's a pretty common one. Oh, well, I've tried to quit 10 times and I always go back. Well, that's the past, and that is a pattern of behavior. But maybe instead of just submitting to that failure, why don't you look at it from the perspective of, okay, so what happened each time I relented and went back to smoking? And instead of just giving into the old pattern, you can learn from it. Okay, so what was my trigger? What was the impetus that made me start smoking again? Okay, I picked them up when I had a fight with the missus or my hubby or whoever, and it made me really stressed. Or something happened at work and it made me really stressed. So as a natural consequence of being stressed, smoking's always been a stress release for me. So you go ahead and pick them up and you start again. So if you take from that the lesson of like, okay, so when you're naturally stressed, you want to have a cigarette and you find that impedes you quitting. So think about other aspects and other coping mechanisms that would help you cope with feeling stressed that didn't lead you down the path of smoking. See what I'm getting at? So it's kind of just like, I don't want anyone to end up proving themselves right and having that self-fulfilling prophecy when it can be so easy not to. It can be so easy to achieve your goals and accomplish things, but it is like there's a whole framework involved in achieving things for yourself. So, one of the things that I sort of am like a big advocate of, and look, I'm not reinventing the wheel here and I make no claims to it. So I'm just talking about like my personal experience or things that I've like helped other clients through. It's obviously, if you have like an overall goal, right, set small incremental goals as part of the overall achievement process or plan. So it's like, I want to lose 10 kilos, whatever, or I want to quit smoking. Well, so if you want to lose 10 kilos, start just at one. Figure out how you're going to lose 1 kilo and break that shit down. The same as you want to quit smoking. Okay, great. But if you're a pack a day smoker, how realistic is that you're actually going to just go cold turkey? And trust me, this is coming from a full smoker who, and I can't lie, I fucking loved smoking. It was my stress release. It was something that, it it soothed a lot of parts of me, but ultimately, obviously, I knew that it wasn't, the best thing for my health, and it was a choice I made before I tried to have children, that I wanted to have a healthy body to grow babies in. That's pretty much, what was my motivation to change, and that's a pretty compelling motivation. And it definitely worked for me. But so, if you're a pack a day smoker and you think you're just going to go cold turkey one day, like you have to look at how realistic your goal is, and sometimes, be really specific about it and do it incrementally. So, okay, like, yeah, you're a pack a day smoker. All right, so let's see, instead of just going cold turkey, cut down, do it gradually. Cut back to, okay, I'm going to try to do half a pack a day, and then see how you go with that. And then go, okay, like, can I make one pack stretch a whole week? And see how you go. Look into other things that, like, what prompts you to want a cigarette? Is because you're bored? Is it because you're hungry and you know that it's going to suppress your appetite, so you don't actually have to waste the time to go and eat, and you're just going to have a quick dart and cut off? That was something that, like, used to happen a lot to me when I was a cop. You'd be processing crooks and, doing, like, 17, 18-hour day after day, when you're in, like, maybe the resolution phase of, like, a long-term investigation, and, like, I did not have fucking time to eat. I'm too busy. So you make yourself a cup of tea, go and have a quick dart, and that would just kind of get you through for the next few hours. So I get it in that respect, but I'm a big believer in people's autonomy and people's control over, their own life and their own actions and their own behavior. And, everyone says, like, old habits die hard, but they don't fucking have to. Like, you're in control of it. So if you want to make a change, fucking do it. I'm someone who supports people making changes in their lives. But when we go about it, we put a structure in place. We do it incrementally. We look at what the triggers are that causes you to engage in whatever it is, like that behavior or that habit or something that you want to stop, or you want to change, or you want to, pivot slightly away from. We look at what naturally causes you to enter into that. So then you can actually set yourself up for, successfully going down, like, the different path that you're interested in. And one thing that I also am, like, a big fan of, and something that I personally do myself, is if you are trying to do something new, so not necessarily cut back on something, like the smoking analogy, but if you're trying to implement something new into your life, like a newer, healthier habit, I don't know, like, take more vitamins, drink more water, blah blah blah, like any kind of, like, minor adjustment that you want to sort of start doing every day or every couple of days or once a week or something like that. What I found is one of, like, the most successful or easiest things to do is to figure out something that you do every single day and attach whatever it is that new behavior is to that activity. So I don't know, whether it's like you want to, you read an article that it's like, instead of having caffeine first thing in the morning, it's better to drink a big glass of water. Okay. So, the night before you, like, when you go to bed, leave the glass out on the sink or in the bathroom or something like that. That's actually going to prompt you to do it, and attach it to something else. So I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to drink a big glass of water, and the first thing I do every morning is, like, brush my teeth. So, like, you know, reasonable like activity, that I do is like I get up and work out most mornings. Every night before I go to bed, I lay out my workout clothes, generally in the kitchen, so I'm not getting up and waking up my husband or one of my kids or anything like that. I have my water bottle filled with cold water in the fridge. I have my sports watch out that I wear when I work out so I can time my rests and everything like that. I leave my shoes out with my socks in them. Like, everything is set out and ready to go because I know that that ensures success for me. And success to me is getting up at and obviously the probably main thing that I have to do is set my alarm. So I set my alarm the night before too. But so attaching all of those things to like my ultimate goal was to get up early and work out. And that hasn't just come about, overnight. That's come about like getting up in like the 5 a.m. range to work out. Again, that's not just something that you like, you can switch on one day and feel really good about it. Like, it doesn't necessarily work like that. But all of those tiny little things that I do, I attach to, another activity or another habit that I know that I do every morning. So like if I got up, right, and then I had to find my workout clothes and find my watch and fill up my water bottle and do all of the things, it's going to A, waste time, and B, make me go, do I really have the fucking effort to do this? And you know what? Some mornings I wouldn't. But doing all of those little bits and pieces the night before sets me up for success the next morning. So everything is easy and everything is streamlined. I get up, I get dressed, wash my face, brush my teeth, drink any vitamins, pre-workout drinks, anything else that I want to do. And then I head down to the basement and I'm, ready to go. So that's something that I've been doing for, like a really long time now. So not something that I necessarily think about, but it's so ingrained in me now that when I'm going to bed of a nighttime, it's part of like my mental checklist. Have I had, I take magnesium at bedtime because it helps like with my muscles and helps me sleep and all that kind of thing. So as part of, have I had my magnesium before bedtime? Are my clothes out? Is my water bottle full? Do I have fresh socks in my shoes? Is my watch, my odometer, like whatever it is I need for that morning? So attaching, something new that you're trying to do, and especially if it's like of like a health benefit, attaching it to something else that you already do during the day or during your morning routine is going to help you do it, help you maintain it, help it become part of your natural routine. So it's not something that you necessarily have to think about as hard as it might seem in the beginning. So that was kind of just sort of something that I wanted to touch on, and especially because start of the year, a lot of people are trying new shit, all over the internet. Gym people bitching and moaning about all the newbies, being into the gym. You know what? At least they're fucking trying. At least they're getting up and going, and I work out in my basement, so it doesn't really bother me all that much. But I think it's good to try new things. I think it's great to better ourselves. And when you have that desire to better yourself, it shows that you are introspective and that you can recognize something in your life that either you're not 100% happy with, or you're like, you know what, that could probably be fucking better. And you're thinking enough about it to want to make a change. And generally it's making a change for the better. So I'm such a big advocate of that I want people to be able to succeed in that realm. So, having the right mindset, not setting yourself up for failure, and then having like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's really important. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to, feel like a freaking nuffy when you're trying to, learn something new. Like, we've all been there. We all don't appear on this earth as this fully evolved person who knows how to do everything. So everyone had to start somewhere else. And something else that I was thinking of that's kind of still in the realm of goal setting and intentions and trying new things for a new year is that when when I had my first baby, my eldest son, my beautiful, beautiful big sister came over to help for like a couple of weeks. She's older than me. She's got 2 kids already, and it was, the most amazing gift that she could, come over and spend some time with us. Um, and I remember, for anyone here who's a parent, those first few weeks with a new kid, it's fucking rough. Especially if, you're the mum and you've, grown a human for 9-10 months and then had to birth them. And then there's so much focus on your pregnancy and on your labor that there often isn't a lot of focus on the aftermath of like, oh shit, I have a baby now. And figuring things out and learning how to breastfeed if that's, what you choose to do, or, even bottle feeding's like shit that you have to learn. And there's kind of a lot of like societal pressure about getting your baby into a routine. And I think anyone who's got kids out there would know of and have felt that kind of pressure at some point. And I think, my kid was only a couple of weeks old, I want to say. Oh no, he was like 8 weeks old actually, I lied. When my big sister came over. And I think I was talking to her one day about, something about a routine and da-da-da. And she said something to me that has stayed with me. And my eldest is 7, going on 8 this year. And it stayed with me this whole time. And kind of sort of resonated when it came to like, setting new goals and learning new things, was that instead of focusing on a routine, so especially if, January 2024 is the month you're starting something new and you have all these amazing dreams and goals and, intentions and everything like that, sometimes we can get lost in, I said I was going to go to the gym fucking 4 days a week and I only made it 2 this week, and so I'm fucking failing, and just spiraling mentally, like we can all do when we're trying to do something, and fucking kids get sick and you get overtime at work, and all of those things. The beautiful wisdom that my sister gifted me was, instead of looking at things as a routine, look at them as a rhythm. So rhythm is like a little more forgiving, and it can go fast and it can go slow and it can be smooth and it can, hard and upbeat, but it's a rhythm. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that resonated so beautifully with me when she sort of said that to me, because I just felt like it took the pressure off. It took the pressure off, trying to figure out what I was doing with an 8-week-old baby, and, trying to heal after pregnancy and, childbirth, and just, feel human again. And then you feel all this pressure to sleep routine and a feeding routine, da 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 da. And just thinking of it as a rhythm, some days it was going to be awesome, some days less so. And that's like the wave and the beat of a rhythm. And I just found that to be really soothing and I guess calming for my soul. And I think it's sort of something that I've taken through like my entire parenting journey, really, that, like getting your kid to bed at a certain time, you know, learning the difference between parenting a baby and a toddler, and then like a little kid, and then like a kid who's getting a little bit bigger, like taking the pressure off yourself of like this chronic idea of a routine, and just accepting that a rhythm is good. And so sometimes it's going to be the same, and then sometimes it's going to, differ a little bit. That's okay, because it's a rhythm. So I don't know, that might not work, or that, image might not be for everyone, but I wanted to share it because it's something that really meant a lot to me. And it's something that, yeah, I still think about. And I think it can be used equally for when we are trying to, set goals and reach some certain level of achievement or attainment of, really anything, any aspect of our lives. Like, instead of getting caught up in the routine of everything, seeing it as a rhythm, I think it just I think it just helps. I think it takes the pressure off a little bit. So you're kind of like, yep, I wanted to make it to the gym 4 days a week, and I made it 4 days last week. And that is an accomplishment. This week, for, reason A, B, and C, I could only make it 2 days. And so that's part of the rhythm. And so the next week, I'm going to try for 4 again. And I think it just allows an element of compassion into our lives, which, something that I've worked on a lot and use a lot in my life is learning to have compassion for myself and also, like, I think allowing my first thought when I maybe have like a difficult interaction with someone else. Instead of like my first reaction being anger or resentment or, a bit of fuck you energy, kind of like stepping back and being like, okay, like, this person isn't normally like this. Like, what's going on in their world right now that's causing them to act like this or causing them to talk to me like this? And just kind of, yeah, allowing that compassion in. I think it I think it's kind and I think it helps. So, that's my 2 cents in regards to that kind of thing. So, um if you found it helpful, awesome. If you think I'm talking shit, well, that's okay too. I'm open to any and all feedback. Couple more things I did want to talk about. I'm hoping to make this so not too long for you. Well, okay, so one thing I did want to talk about is the fact that I had a proud moment this week, and it's in regards to the very thing that you're listening to, this podcast. So I will hold space for your darkness. We have released 17 episodes, so if you're listening to this should be episode number 18. And when I started it, no idea what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go with it. Like, very basic. I want to have conversations with, first responders and talk about mental health. I'm so honored that, a group of wonderful people have agreed to come on and have those sorts of conversations, and I've had the opportunity to share them with you. I honestly, like, I think my original goal was like, if I can get like 100 people to listen, I think that would be pretty cool. This past week, I just cracked 500 listens. And, in the grand scheme of other people's podcasts, that's probably peanuts. But in regards to this podcast, which is such a passion project for me and something I get such joy out of and such a privilege having these conversations, I was pretty damn excited. So thank you. Thank you so much to those who have supported me along the way, who have come on and been guests, and people who are listening. Like, I've heard some really lovely feedback that has nothing to do with me. And I think that's been the best part. It's not, to quantify, like, the feedback I've gotten is from guests who've come on and have said, wow, like, this person and this person and this person reached out to me and told me that they listened to my episode and that it resonated with them because they had been struggling. They had been having suicidal ideation. They had been suffering psychologically. and listening to my episode and listening to me speak my truth and share about going to therapy or getting help and all that kind of thing, encourage them to go and get help. And that is, I mean, that's the ultimate compliment. You know, it's got nothing to do with me in the slightest. It is feedback that my guests are getting, and the fact that them sharing their story, it helped people that they knew. And that has been really special for me to hear. So I just, I want to say thank you to the listeners. I really want this podcast to be, you know, this like open channel for communication. So if you are a listener and you know, have something you want to say to me, please feel free to reach out. If you know of someone who you think would love to, you know, come on here and share their story, or if you would like to come on and share your story, by all means, you know, reach out. If you'd like, you know, like me to jump on and do a solo and chat about like a certain subject matter or anything like that. Yeah, you know, in the show notes, there's always the ways that you can get in contact with me. Generally the easiest is on Instagram. So Erin Jane Coaching is my normal handle. I actually did create a separate one just for the release of these podcast episodes and anything related to I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. So I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness is too long a handle for Instagram to bear with, apparently. So it's Erin Jane _ Darkness podcast. So they're the two of like some of the easiest ways that you can get in contact with me. Otherwise, there is my website, www.erinjanecoaching.com. And also, obviously my email. So if you have any feedback, would love to be a guest, anything like that at all, please feel free to reach out. I love hearing from my listeners. I love hearing from people wanting to come on and share their story. It's such an honor when someone reaches out like that. So here's to 500 listens and you know, to many more. But I honestly, like, from the bottom of my heart, like, the fact that anyone is listening to this sometimes amazes me. But I hope you can hear in my voice, or you know, see in my eyes if you choose to watch this on YouTube, that I really care about this. I really care about what it is that I do, the people that I speak with, and the conversations. Like, nothing is scripted, nothing is planned. Like, I go into, I research my guests, and because I was a cop and that's what I do. I look into people, but I obviously want to be respectful when I speak to these people, these wonderful people who are happy to come on and share their truth and share their story with me. And so I want to have like a little bit of knowledge about them before they come on. But besides the darkness questions, that's kind of all they really know when they come on. So everything you hear, everything you see, it's just as it happens. I don't really do a lot of editing on here unless someone's like specifically requested it. We might be telling a war story and let a name slip that we went, oh shit, probably shouldn't have said that, or it's something like that. But it's never, I've never had anyone be like, oh, I didn't feel comfortable sharing that story. Can you not? Because that's why we're here. we are here. We are here to share our, first responder experiences and stories and the good and the bad and fucking everything in between. As we all know when we do these roles. And I don't know if it's just a first responder thing, but I still just remember, like, you'd be at work and someone would be like, "Hey, Ezzy, how's it going?" You'd be like, "Living the dream," whether you were or not, whether you were having a fucking shithouse day or you were having a great day. Everyone is just living the dream. So it's I'm really blown away. I'm blown away that 500 people have taken the effort and the time to listen to these conversations, and it really means a lot. So yeah, thank you for listening. And the last thing that I wanted to address in this episode is I am going home. I am headed back to Australia for 6 weeks, which I'm very excited about. The only thing that does mean is that this may be the last episode that I release for at least a few weeks. I'm really hoping to interview, some people back home, some friends and former colleagues and all that kind of thing. But when I get to go home only once a year, obviously spending time with like my friends and family is my priority. And this is something that I love. And, if I have the opportunity and the time to do it while I'm away, I definitely will. But I just, if I'm like truly honest, I just can't guarantee it. So this may be, the last episode for like a few weeks. So I'm not going to be forgetting about you. I've got, some wonderful people lined up for when I get back. Lots more, wonderful, honest, authentic conversations to keep having. But yeah, we'll just be taking a little rest, a little break. And yeah, we'll come back and hopefully keep going with it all. But I wanted to let you guys know because, whether you're, hanging by for late Thursday night, Friday morning download of this podcast, or you just find it here, there, and everywhere, I don't want you to disappear or think that I've just stopped without rhyme or reason, because that's not the case. Simply just taking a little bit of a break, going home, seeing my family, and my friends who I really care about deeply, and obviously I am separated from for a vast majority of the year. So yeah, if you have any questions about Oz or anything like that, you can obviously feel free to send them my way too. I will probably, keep posting on the socials a little bit while I'm away, sharing some fun things that I'm doing. But obviously, yeah, my priorities, family time and friend time and all that kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to jump on and share those few little bits and pieces with you. So I hope you maybe just found some value in it. I hope that if January has not been the fucking month for you, there are still 11 other months left in this year, and it's not too late. If you've been trying to do something new, set a new goal, and it hasn't worked in January, don't fucking write it off. Think about your mindset. Think about what kind of supports you have in place. Break down your goals. Make them incremental. And then also breaking them down allows you to have little wins along the way too, which again, I think is super important for when you're trying to achieve something big. Marking little successes along the way helps keep you motivated. And even even actually sort of, sitting back and having a think about, okay, like this is the thing that I'm telling myself that I want, but why do I want it? What's your driving motivation behind your reasoning for wanting something? Because that can actually really help you figure out how to accomplish it too. So I spoke, a little bit before about whether your motivation is intrinsic or extrinsic. Simplest, layman's way to explain that is an intrinsic motivation is something that you do because you feel basically just joy from the inside for doing something or accomplishing that. Having that goal, it's just going to bring you pride or joy or happiness. Extrinsic motivation is, are you doing something for monetary gain? Are you doing it for, like applause or, like acknowledgement from other people? So like if you were trying to lose 10 kilos, are you doing it because you know that it's going to actually make you feel better about yourself? Or are you doing it for an external reason? So figuring out your motivation can also sometimes help you achieve that goal, because then you can target the ways in which to go about it. So that's just my 2 cents. And it's something that, one of the things I love about coaching is, when my clients come to me, they tell me what they want to work and what they want to talk about, which I love because it allows them that, to maintain that element of control. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm here to help you figure out what to do and support you while you do it, But I think just, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Yep, no, it's gone. All right. That thought process has disappeared, unfortunately. So there we go. I guess that is perfect time to end this podcast here. Yeah, by all means, any questions, anything, please reach out. I'll obviously have like a couple of days where I might be somewhat unreachable because I'm going to be on a plane for about 26 hours. So yeah, but aside from that, I look forward to communicating with you guys from the other side of the world. Or alternatively, if you're in Oz in the same time zone, once again, that'll be fun. Thanks for listening. I know I ramble a little bit. I apologize if that's annoying. Again, I don't really come on here with a whole massive plan. I come on here with like a couple of cue cards, a couple of notes, and then I kind of riff from there. So yeah, but I like sharing my thoughts with you guys, and I'm hopeful to just pop on every now and then and do these solo podcasts. Helps me get a little bit better at it, which will be less painful for you guys, and it's just something that I like doing. So I wish you guys a happy end of the first month of this brand new year full of possibilities. All right. This has been Erin Jane. Thank you for listening to I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. And as always, let me listen in a way you've never been heard. Cheers. Hi guys, it's Erin Jane here. Firstly, thank you for listening to I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. This podcast really is for you, the listener, and I hope you're finding as much value in listening to these conversations as I am in having them. If you'd like to offer any feedback, suggest a subject matter, are interested in being a podcast guest, or would like to get in contact to receive first responder life and wellness coaching services, please reach out. You can find me on Instagram at Erin Jane Coaching or my website,
www.erinjanecoaching.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm so grateful to have you as part of this darkness community. Cheers.